All right, so the talk of the town has been Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars last night. One of the most memeish things to ever happen, on television. One of the most historic moments ever in television, right there. And I wanted to give my thoughts on it because, hell, everybody else is, so why don't I give my thoughts? I've been doing memes about it too, and it's been pretty funny on Twitter. But looking at it from a more serious perspective, there's been a debate today. There's been a lot of people debating and fighting with each other. Is what Will Smith did acceptable or not? He did physically, slap this man over a joke, but the joke that Chris Rock made was basically, some would say, insensitive because of the fact that Jada Pinkett has a disease called alopecia, I think it's called, where she basically is like balding in parts of her scalp. And she's gone out publicly and talked about how this disease is a very serious thing, and it's a lot of trouble, and drama and stress, all that stuff. It's just not a good thing to have, obviously. And she's gone on record of saying that. So Chris Rock makes a G.I. Jane joke because of her hair being so short, and Will Smith walks up there and just smacks him and then screams out, with profanity, not to mention his wife. Like, with the F word and everything being said at the Oscars. Now, what makes this interesting is that we're talking about Will Smith, somebody who, when he won an award with MTV back in like 98, I think it was 98, he said that he doesn't have to cuss in his records or kill anybody in his records. And that led to Eminem mentioning that on The Real Slim Shady. He's always been the rapper that some would consider the safe rapper. You know what I mean? The clean rapper, the guy who doesn't really curse in his records at all. He just keeps it clean. And here we go. I mean, he does curse in his movies, but here we go, just smacking this guy. So the debate is, was Will Smith seeking approval from Jada? Was he being a man standing up for his wife? Well, I think, yes, he was standing up for his wife. However, should he have slapped Chris Rock? First of all, there's people who are saying stuff like, he could have killed him. Shut the fuck up. I have seen some of the stupidest freaking takes on this. That Will Smith committed assault, which I guess technically it is, but they're saying that he could have killed him. That slap wasn't even enough to I've been in slap fights in middle school where kids have hit harder than that. Like, that wasn't even that hard of a slap. I mean, he smacked them, but it wasn't like he was trying to, make him go deaf by his eardrum. He smacked him in the face. And then later on in the show, Will won an Oscar, and he was kind of crying and talking about how he defends his family and, things like that. Obviously emotional because of what's going on. He does seem like a guy who's got a lot going on inside of his head. Like, he seems like a guy who, I don't know if it's because of the problems with his marriage or other personal problems. I don't know anything about Will Smith's personal life. I don't really get involved in that, but he seems like somebody who's got something else going on, like something else. But people are saying stuff like, well, Chris Rock was doing his job, which he was. He was trying to be entertaining and funny. And where does this leave comedy? Can a comedian now have to be, does a comedian have to be more careful now with what he says? We're already walking a tightrope right now with how cancel culture is nowadays and Twitter mobs and all that, but now it's gone to a new level because now, is this a thing where anytime somebody gets remotely offended at somebody else, they can go up there and just smack them or punch them or throw something at them? Like, is that something that's going to be acceptable? For somebody like Will Smith, who is a multi-millionaire, he can do whatever he wants. Like, celebrities who are that wealthy have a ton of power. And even if he were to go down, let's say Chris Rock did press charges, you think Will Smith didn't have any problems paying that? Like, he's good to go. And Chris Rock is not going to press charges. So I think that Chris Rock not pressing charges speaks volumes for how not serious this is. Chris Rock, I mean, you could tell he was kind of shocked, but it wasn't like he was hurt. Like, he wasn't like holding his cheek. Like, he was fine. And so that just tells me that it was more like a wake-up slap than an actual, like, I'm trying to hurt you slap. It wasn't like a Dr. D. David Schultz slap, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, part of me, I'm conflicted because, yes, I do respect a man who stands up for his woman. Like, that's obvious. You should stand up for your woman. And if you've got the money to get away with doing things like that, it's even easier. But of course, if this happened on a much lower level, like if it happened with people who weren't that wealthy, would it be looked at the same way? If it happened on the streets, it happens on the streets. I mean, this kind of stuff happens all the time on the streets. You know, people get smacked all the time. But obviously, this is in front of a worldwide audience, and you would have to actually pull up the Japanese or some of the foreign feeds to actually hear Will Smith's cursing. But he did curse. I mean, that was live all over the world. Now, what a lot of my friends were bringing up to me, which I didn't even know because I don't keep up with this, like, celebrity stuff. If you guys have known me and listened to my videos on here, you know that I don't deal with the celebrity drama stuff. I'm not into that celebrity crap. I don't really care too much about other people's lives, but I did want to comment on this because this was like a worldwide thing. But they were bringing up the fact that, you know, Jada Pinkett was cheating on Will, and I had heard about this, but I didn't know the details of it, with some dude named August. His name is August Alsina, and I don't even know who this is, to be honest with you. I don't know, I'm sorry. But I guess this was the guy who she was having an affair on Will with, which was this August Alsina guy, and everybody's like, why didn't he slap him? Why didn't he hit him? And then I was in a Twitter space last night, and somebody mentioned that at one time Will cheated on Jada, and he wrote about it. Again, there's all these things that go on behind the scenes. And that's one thing I always try to tell people, is that you really don't know what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to marriages, relationships, and couples. You might see a couple, and sometimes you can feed off their energy to tell if they're really in love or not. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can do that, but you really don't know what happens behind closed doors. You know, there's couples that might seem very happy, but get into dog fights all the time. Or there's couples that might seem like they're angry at each other, but there's a lot of love there when the doors are closed. Like, you know, you really don't know. You really do not know. But that's a good point. I mean, why didn't Will act all brolic against August Alsina? Did he never run into him? Like, did he never see him? But the thing is that August Alsina, you know, he slept with Jada Pinkett, and I guess in Will's mind, and I don't know. I mean, this is, look, I can't read Will Smith's mind, okay? But I guess the joke that Chris Rock made was worse because it's actually a disease, a condition that Jada has, which I understand that. Like, some people would put that above infidelity. Now, when it comes to me, personally, if a woman cheats on me, she's done. I'm breaking up the relationship. You know, marriage or not, it's over. Especially when you got that kind of Will Smith money. But, and I don't have that, obviously. But, at the same time, who knows what really went on? What if he cheated on her first? Again, there's all kinds of things that we don't know. We do not have full context, and we never will because we're not them, right? So out of respect for them, it's best not to say that. But, he got up just in the middle of everything and just smacked this dude. And I don't think Chris Rock was expecting that. I saw some people say it was a work, that it was all planned out. I don't think so. I don't think it was, because the genuine look, and I know he's an actor, but the genuine look on Chris Rock's face, like, time stopped. And it was really like an awkward moment. And I don't think Will would have been cussing like that if it was worked. I don't know. It seemed very real. And if people were saying it was a ratings ploy, I somehow don't think so. I don't think that's going on here. I think that there's something going on with Will Smith that he's not revealing, as far as like problems, like, you know, internally with his marriage or just himself, that led to that. I don't think it was just the one joke. I think it was a culmination of jokes being made at his expense or at Jada's expense. That's what I think it was. And you know what? Every man has his breaking point, so I can't even front. Like, I'm not going to sit here and blame Will for what he did. I mean, I probably would have done it too if I was in the same mental state situations. Maybe many of you probably would too, you know? I mean, again, what's it to get in trouble for? The dude's loaded. I mean, when you have that kind of money, you can buy the best lawyers, and even if you go down, you're not going to do that much time. You won't do any time. Like, it was just a slap, you know? It wasn't like it wasn't like he, you know, tried to kill Chris Rock. That wasn't what he was trying to do, you know? But people on Twitter, Einstein's trying to make it seem like that is what he was trying to do, and it's just ridiculous. Like, it's just a slap. It's just a fucking slap. So, to me, this is like a non-story. honestly. Maybe because of the environment I grew up in. It's a great story because it's funny, it's memeable, but it's a non-story. In 2 weeks, or maybe less than that, we'll forget all about this. Do I think that Will Smith should have to turn back in his Oscar? No. I think if he earned that Oscar for King Richard, I think he needs to keep that Oscar, and I think he deserves it because that's notwithstanding the Oscars event. Like, he won the Oscar fair and square. He should not have to return the Oscar, even though he may have, he may have gone against the code of conduct at the Oscars. He can just maybe not get invited back next year or whatever the case is as punishment, but I don't think he should have to give back his Oscar because he earned that in the movie King Richard, which I have not seen, by the way. I have not seen that film yet, but he earned it. Maybe now I will watch it. I don't know. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.